Good YouTube. So, do you remember when the RICO with Young Thug was taking place? Everybody was shocked to find out that Young Thug, according to the people in Atlanta, the people who are serving justice, according to the state, they were saying Young Thug was out here basically being a villain, basically being Joker in Gotham City. He was out here orchestrating hits, etc. But one thing that you will know about the situation if you kept up with it is that they said Young Thug wasn't the only artist they were looking into. They were looking into hitting a lot of these rap groups with the RICO Act. For those who don't know what the RICO Act is, the RICO Act is basically something they use to take down the mob, the mafia essentially. So a lot of these guys at the top will be orchestrating hits, and people at the lower levels of criminality will carry out these hits, but they could never get the guy at the top who's really the powerhouse behind everything in the organization. So they introduced the RICO Act to be able to pin the crimes that these people on the lower level are committing to the guy at the top. So this is essentially what they hit Young Thug with. Now fast forward, Young Thug ended up beating, well, it didn't really beat the case, but he came out with a very respectable sentencing. Basically, he kind of got away with it, let's be real. He did like 3 years just waiting for his verdict, and when he got his verdict, he got released. Basically, he still has to do certain things with probation, but he got released. Now, they also said they were looking into two other big artists, one of them being Lil Durk, and another one of them being Lil Baby. Now, we've seen with Lil Durk what's happened in his situation. He's actually in jail right now. Now, they haven't got his whole clique, so I guess it's not a RICO, but they said they were looking into him, and now he's looking at life in federal prison. Another person who has just been announced today that they also said they were looking into back then was Lil Baby. And today, Lil Baby has actually been announced as someone who's a person of interest in a situation that took two lives of two young teenagers at some sort of party. It was actually a party for a 13-year-old who was turning 13, and 30 minutes into his birthday, he would lose his life. It's very unfortunate, it's very tragic, and I want to let you guys basically see the clip for yourself and gather your thoughts on everything, and then I'm gonna get back to you. So let's actually head over, let's check out what the police has to say Lil Baby's involvement is in this whole situation. Okay guys, so as you can see, we're here right now on YouTube about to break down the whole situation.
Several weeks after this incident took place, we were out here holding a very similar press conference, and we were asking for the help from the community. In just a moment, I'm going to show you some pictures of 7 individuals that we were able to take into custody in conjunction with this tragic incident. I stood here and told you the story how on July 2nd, just after midnight of last year, we had 2 13-year-olds and 11-year-old celebrating the birthday of Lamont Fremont. He had just turned 13. And he got to experience about 30 minutes of being a teenager before his life was taken. But one thing I want to make absolutely clear, and I said it then and I'll say it again, these kids were innocent victims. So when we talk about the gang involvement, these 2 13-year-olds and this 11-year-old, they didn't have a gang involvement. We didn't have interactions with them as a police department. They were good kids in the community. And unfortunately, their futures, their lives were taken. So 5 of these individuals we already had in custody, we had arrested. Some of them were in jail on previous charges not related to this. So once we established probable cause, we're able to serve the...
You know it's gonna be a nigga named Keontae Sanders out here doing bullshit, bro. Let's be honest, bro. And guys, for any one of my American supporters, bro, is there like, cause I know like they try to put every black person in the same group, but we all have our different cultures, Is there any reason like American names are always like that? Like Tionte, Leonte, Meonte, Keonte, like, be real with me, bro. Is there actually some meaning behind it? Or it's just like niggas just coming up with anything for real? Just that sounds special. Just be real with me, bro. Because I don't see where Keonte came from in terms of culture wise, but I ain't trying to diss nobody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my American black supporters out there, bro.
The jails in which they're housed with these arrest warrants. So the first one there is Mr. Sanders. Let me just flip through him. Richard Hollis. Reginald Thomas, Marcus Crawford, Mr. Mobley, Tradon Crawford, and Tradon is one of the individuals that we took into custody yesterday. And then the final 7th individual is Mr. Ollie Caldwell. If you notice with these individuals, 2 of them share the same last name. It's because they are brothers.
My name is Major Ralph Woolfolk of the Violent Crime Interdiction Section. And I first want to say the overall theme of this case is grown men playing gangster that left 2 of our children in graves and a community in fear. And we know in these communities that strength is about building community, not destroying it. And in this case, leaving 2 young people in their grave. And for the investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence that was orchestrated by adults in our city. And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings, and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions. Ultimately, there are components of this investigation that led back to a prison in the state of Georgia where an illegal phone, a contraband phone, was used to orchestrate these acts. There was a hit called by a high-ranking gang member on the opposite side of that opposing rapper's gang. And I'll tell you today, that gang was Goodfellas. Goodfellas Criminal Street Gang being one of the most hyper-violent gangs in the city of Atlanta. And we will pursue you relentlessly in making sure that we keep this city safe and suppressing violence throughout our city. And lastly, I'll say, as Major Malecki indicated, there is still a $50,000 reward that is on the table for additional information in relationship to this case. And our detectives and our officers, through all of the internal units and external units that you see here today, will be knocking on doors and working with this community that has been so resilient to collect additional information to continue to move this investigation forward.
Now that's a bit concerning. Knocking on doors. So you guys don't even have a case for it, it sounds like. This is what I mean. Like, if you guys heard me at the start of the video, I was like, it sounds like they're trying to just throw it on him a little bit because they don't really have nothing. You're knocking on doors with on a case where 2 teens were unalive. That don't sound like you have a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's why it sounds like they're kind of pushing heavy on Lil Baby, but it's still irresponsible to be pulling up to Ops Hood to shoot music videos, you know?
No, there was not. We do believe that the 3 juveniles, 2 were killed, 1 who was injured, they were just outside on the steps celebrating a birthday party. We don't believe that they were the intended targets of that gunfire.
And so then are we going to name the gang on the other side? You named the Goodfellas, but what's the name of the gang that's affiliated with this rapper that we're not naming?
Yeah, at this time, so not to compromise the integrity of this investigation, we will not be naming that gang.
Now, this is really where it ends. They don't really talk too much about the other gang, but like I broke it down to you, they named the first gang who called the hit Goodfellas, and Goodfellas is beefing Lil Baby's clique, basically, and they're going back and forth. Lil Baby pulled up to the Goodfellas hood to shoot a music video, so that's how they responded. But that's pretty much the situation right there. Crazy. Okay guys, so now you're up to date with the whole situation. There's 2 sides, right? There's people who are saying that Lil Baby needs to face the consequences for his actions. He's completely wrong for this. It's negligence. And then you've got other people who are criticizing the police, basically saying you guys are trying to throw any charges on anybody. You haven't got anything and you're just trying to throw something out there. Now, personally, Do I think it's reckless of Lil Baby to be doing stuff like that in his position? Yes. Why are we pulling up to Ops Hood to shoot music videos as multi-millionaires? Why are we doing that? You know, that's some broke, desperate behavior. That's something someone on the block needs to be doing to get their name out there. You are one of the biggest artists. Why are we doing that? But another side of me is thinking, after hearing everything that went down, what really did he do that's a crime? He went to his Ops music. Well, first and first, going to the Ops Hood to shoot a music video, is that a crime? I thought it's a free earth. Can we not go anywhere? So that there's a side of me that's thinking that, but the police is basically saying he's igniting the beef. And if you don't know anything about Atlanta, a lot of these old heads, they be sending the young guys to do the hits. So I do think he's instigating, and I do think it's very reckless and irresponsible of him. But like criminal type of behavior, I don't really see the criminal behavior in what he did. But I do believe it's basically Atlanta police basically saying, we see what you're doing out here. You're not slick. We see what you're doing out here. Keep thinking you're slick. Keep thinking things are a game. I basically think that's what is going on out here. But let me know what you guys think is going to happen. Let me know what you guys think the verdict will be. If they're going to actually pursue some sort of criminal charges, even though I don't see where the criminal charges would be. And also, let me know, do you think he's in the wrong? Because it's a very mixed opinion. I see people saying that like he's responsible, and I also see people saying they're just trying to throw anything on him to bring a black man down. So let me know what you guys think about the situation. Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more videos. I'm gonna catch you in the next one.